The Holy One, disguised as an old person in a cheap hotel, goes out to ask for cab fare. But I never seem to catch sight of him. If I did, what would I ask him for? He has already experienced what is missing in my life. The Holy One, disguised as an old woman sleeping in a stairwell, goes out to beg for food. But I never seem to catch a glimpse of her. If I did, what would I ask her? She has already experienced what is missing in my life. Kabir says, I belong to this old person. Now let the events about to come, come. Hello, my name is William James Lindbergh, and this is the Chapel of Poetry, where in this space we celebrate the living words of others. And the first poem that I read this evening was from the ecstatic Kabir, the ecstatic poems, adaptations by Robert Bly. And I read that because a long time ago, 20 plus years ago, the first audio poetry I heard was from that book. From Robert Bly and David Whetstone on sitar, speaking poetry or performing poetry in a very animated and spoken way. And that is why I'm here today, is because that's how I got here today, was because of that. And I want to pay homage to Robert Bly and to Kabir as a thinker, a 15th century thinker, a Hindu Muslim saint, to pay homage to that individual for gifting me with poetry. And tonight I'm going to read a few pages from Jean Vanier's book, The Tears of Silence, published in 1970. And Jean Vanier is a Canadian Catholic philosopher, a theologian, and humanitarian. And in 1964, he founded the Liarche houses for people with developmental disabilities. And these communities exist in 80 countries. He is the author of over 30 books, and his poetry, Tears of Silence, as I said before, was published in 1970 by Griffin Press in Toronto. And I'm going to start out on a random page with this poem here. The person overcome with misery, crushed without hope of new life, surrounded by obstacles and difficulties, no desire, no motivation, no will to live, closed off, isolated, alone. We human beings are marvelous and mysterious when called forth with compassion and tenderness through attentive presence and prayerful listening. Strength, hope, surge from within, giving life, a blossoming of quiet energy. Treated with recognition as a fellow human, in spite of my brokenness, in spite of my poverty, there emerges capacity for creativity, generosity, deep attention, concern, work, a sense of wonderment, a taste of the infinite, unceasing, evolving, deepening, creating, calling. What I like about Jean Vanier is the tightness of his lines, the compactness of his line, and also the spirituality. And in my later life, I often forget about the spirituality of my life. But I love the spirituality of these words, and that's why I'm reading them tonight. Feeling down, no vitality, no beauty, that beauty which flows with life, eyes, no radiance, no longer a source of attraction. People turn away. I am not only dejected, but rejected, covered with shame, humiliated, abandoned, alone in anguish, broken. Who will bring life to the despairing, to crushed and dying hearts, to those whose future is empty, to those sick in mind or spirit, to the very old and alone, to the despised and anguished, to the burnt out? Statesmen are called to enact laws, but who is called to give hope to the despairing? How, with my fear and my security, can I approach the one who repulses me? How, with my fear and my security, can I approach the one who repulses me? Yet I feel in some mysterious way there is a calling. There is a calling, the silent crying out for misery, the silent cry out of misery, tears of silence, and in my deepest being I hear this call. Tears of silence, a whispering that life has meaning, but only to a degree that I find love, to a degree that I find love. No reasons, no explanations why, only an intuition, a call of faith, a call that I can enter into some vast and powerful movement, a movement of life and life-giving.